Hi, welcome back to Veganuary day 26. I'm in the weeds. I'm filming this the day that it's going up because I was lazy yesterday and I needed a mental health day because I went shopping. And I'm filming it today because I didn't do it yesterday. So there's no cookbook today, just me. Everybody has always asked for the mushroom gravy recipe. And I've been doing it for quite a few years, and I'm sure I posted it like 3 or 4 times, but it gets lost. And there's new people to the channel, and they don't go back and look, and it's fine, because I don't mind doing it again, because it's a favorite, and it evolves constantly, because it's one of those recipes that you put in what you have. So the basis of it started out as an onion gravy recipe. So I would use a whole onion. But I've kind of really migrated towards mushrooms. So every week I get at least one of these from the store. How many ounces is this? This is 24 ounces. Usually I use this in one dish. But I'm going to use it for my mushroom gravy today. So I'm going to pick out some nice juicy ones. I'm going to say at least 4 of these. 4 big ones. So I'm going to rinse those off. And I'm going to put it on this sheet pan. Well, it's a half sheet pan. With 4 cloves of garlic. I feel like doing garlic today. Sometimes I do garlic powder. Sometimes I don't do garlic at all. Sometimes I'll put a half an onion. Sometimes I'll put a whole onion. It really depends on what you like and what you have on hand. But lately I've always been doing mushroom. I've also got a real quickie recipe that is like just spices but we're not doing that today. Today we're doing mushroom. So let me get these going in the oven. I'm going to roast it at 375 for about 15 minutes. And we'll meet back. Alright, while we're waiting on the mushroom and garlic, we're going to fill up our blender with all of the other ingredients so that we'll be ready to go right when that comes out of the oven. You don't need a blender like this, but you do need a blender. You could also chop up your mushrooms in slices and saute them on the stove with a little bit of oil or a little bit of stock if you're going to do this oil-free. And you can use an immersion blender when it's time to blend. I've done that as well, and it works quite well. That, however, does leave a little bit of chunkies, but that's okay, because sometimes I like chunkies. But I mean, if you want to stand there forever and blend it, that's fine. So in our blender, we're going to be adding, well, usually I make this as chicken gravy, but today we're going to do beef. So when I do the chicken one, I typically use a bouillon that is either chicken flavored or veggie flavored. Like this one is veggie, but the bouillon cube is actually like a yellow color, so you could kind of make that into chicken. There's also a not chicken one, or you could use the what's that other one that I use all the time? Better than bouillon. But you can get like a chicken flavored one, you can get a beef flavored one, you can get a ham flavored one. They got all kinds. And they're vegan. So today I'm going to do not beef. But I guess what I was saying, when I use the chicken one, I'll put poultry seasoning in. But since I'm not doing chicken today, I'm doing the beef. So I'm doing 2 cubes because I want 4 cups of bouillon. And each one of these makes 16 ounces of bouillon juice. So instead of poultry seasoning, I'm going to use some Italian seasoning. It's probably like a teaspoon or so. I'm also going to flavor it with some of this accidentally vegan steak sauce. Probably a good tablespoon and a half. I'm also going to put in a teaspoon or so of tamari. Some pepper, of course. Spaceship alert. pepper to taste, of course. Sometimes I use white pepper, but you got to be careful because that's a little bit hotter, I feel like. So I think that's a good amount. And somebody asked me the other day, so what do you do with the tomato paste that you don't use in a recipe? Because, like, you don't always use a can. That's true. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not that girl who's like, oh, I just take the tomato paste and I put it into an ice cube tray and then I have... That's great. If you do that, I'm down on my knees to you, but I'm pretty sure I've tried that in the past and then I ended up with a whole bunch of tomato cubes that I just ended up throwing out because I either forgot about them or something happened. So usually what I do is I keep it in the fridge in one of these, and every once in a while I'll throw it into something. Not the whole thing, obviously, but like today I'm going to throw some into this gravy. So that's fun. And then, this is going to be interesting to do with one hand here, so maybe I should just prop you up on the pepper. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. Let me just... Okay. I've got some nooch that's going to go in here. I'm going to say 6 tablespoons. Nooch just does a lot for this. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm also going to be using some all-natural potato starch. This is what's going to make it nice and thick, like gravy, and not just juice. So these are ½ tablespoons. So I usually do at least 2½ tablespoons, but I'm making a little bit extra today, so I think I'm going to do like closer to 3 tablespoons. I like my gravy thick, so... I gotta remind myself too, I need another Bob's Red Mill of this because I'm almost out. It does last a long time. You know, it's fairly cheap anyway. So I've got all my other ingredients in here. I'm just waiting for the mushrooms and the garlic, and once they come out, we'll be ready to add our hot water and blend. Alright. Miraculously, our mushroom and garlic has come out of the... well, it's not a miracle. It's just, we just waited the amount of time. Alright, so I'm going to try and show you. Here it is. It gave off some juice. Of course, we're going to want to have that juice in our gravy because it's just going to add extra flavor. So I'm just going to pour it in. Okay, you can still reuse that foil. I also have boiled some water in my kettle over here, so I am going to put in enough water to make about 4.5 cups. Let's let the bubbles go through the nooch. I think that looks, well, a little more. That looks pretty good, so we're just going to blend the heck out of this, and then we're going to come back to the stove. Alright, here we go. I just blended it up. It's starting to look a little bit thick. I sometimes eat it just like that, but I do like to cook it extra on the stove to make sure that it's as thick as it can be, because sometimes, you know, it's got to simmer a little bit. I don't want to overdo it in my Vitamix because I want it to last as long. I want my Vitamix to last as long as possible, so I try not to stress out the motor on that too much because I've already had it a few years. I'm not ready to plunk down some more money for a new Vitamix, even though the new ones are pretty hot with the screens on it and everything. So I'm just gonna put this in my pan. Obviously, I'm going to scrape that out when I get my other hand back from filming. And we're just going to let that simmer for a few minutes. Oh, there's a hair on the, yeah, on my dead cat. So I'm going to thicken that up a little bit. I've got my water on. We're going to have mashed potatoes for lunch, just like we used to in the good old days. like 30 years ago. And my husband will be here to taste it. Alright, my husband has whipped up some instant mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And we're about ready to eat if you want to
Serve it up.
serve it up. Back in the day, remember when we used to go to like KFC and just get a little bucket of mashed potatoes with the gravy?
Mm-hmm.
Back when we were evil. Before we were vegan or vegetarian. So it's got to be like...
We were normal then.
Well, we were the status quo then. Now we're special because we're vegan.
We are special.
So...
Some baked beans.
We're just trying to live a long time. What can I say?
Some baked beans would really do wonders.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, so why don't you bring your bowls over here?
Yeah.
I've got my spoon. And here is the simmered, thickened, cooked gravy. We're also going to be filming another recipe later.
What?
Yes. For cheesecake. For weight loss. Alright, so... Oh my god, so goldeny good.
Yeah.
Do you need more than that?
I don't think so.
The rest of this is going to go into a quart-sized mason jar to be in the fridge for future munches.
You deserve the golden spoon.
I want a small one. I'm a little bird. No, a gold one. This one. It's super hot.
I know.
Wow.
Yum, yum, yum.
Oh my gosh. Can I have 2 bowls?
Yeah.
That is so delicious.
Yeah.
That is so delicious. And that came together so quickly just while you were in the shower.
That was good.
This was a beef version. Usually I do... Can you taste the difference now that I tell you that?
Yeah.
Usually I do like a poultry seasoning, like a turkey gravy type situation. Because the poultry seasoning really makes you think of Thanksgiving. This one I put a little bit of tomato paste and a little bit of the steak sauce, accidentally vegan steak sauce.
Oh, okay.
And a little Italian seasoning to make it more like a beefy gravy, like if you were having roast beef, which we wouldn't. But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Can you tell the difference now?
I can.
He was probably just like Homer Simpsoning that. Simpsoning that.
Don't try that hard.
Like
yourself.
gravy, like Homer Simpson loves donuts. You love gravy like Homer Simpson loves donuts. Oh, I see you're going to be in a coma in about 5 minutes. And
I'm out.
good for nothing for the rest of the day now.
Pretty much.
Enjoy. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching. That was day 26. Stay tuned for the cheesecake for weight loss tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss it. And until then, much love.